Have you ever been driving down the streets of Los Santos, no doubt following all of the relevant traffic and safety regulations, and seen a sign like this? Or how about a truck like this? I'm sure it barely crossed your mind. After all, it's just a fake ad for a fake beer in a video game. What's there to think about? And I thought that myself too, for a while at least. But the funny thing about these games is that the more you play them, the more you start to feel a part of them. You get immersed in their world and the details that hold them together. And so, after a while, I started to feel this nagging feeling at the back of my brain. Some might call it an impulse, as if I were being summoned. Ladies, gentlemen, NBs, my poor soul had fallen victim to the call of Pisswasser.
Yeah, trying to get my head right, trying to get my head right, trying to get my...
So you want to drink some Pisswasser? Are you sure? Okay, fine. I mean, the ads aren't exactly appealing or appetizing, but suit yourself. But before we prescribe a real-world substitute, we first need to determine what kind of beer Pisswasser is. Now, I'm sure many of you are thinking, obviously, Budweiser. It's practically exactly sounding exactly the same. The ads themselves even say, drink for the USA. I solved it. Wrap it up. End of video. But it may surprise you to find out that that assumption is actually wrong. So what kind of beer is it? Let's first examine the branding a little bit more closely. You'll notice that it's described as a German fighting lager for export only. For export only is a term usually reserved for goods like cars that don't meet the safety or emission standards for the country that it's produced in. My more pedantic viewers would argue that there are such things as export beers that are tailored to the tastes of the markets that they're being exported to. But if you ask me, this one feels like a throwaway gag about how Pisswasser is so heinous that it could only meet the standards of our completely deregulated, free market, slop-loving country. A common joke in the Grand Theft Auto series. Anyways, if you look at the bottle, you'll notice the word Pils right on the label. See? Right there. Seasoned beer drinkers already know where I'm going with this, but I'll spell it out for the less informed. Pils is a nickname used to designate a German-style Pilsner, which is its own distinct style recognized by the Brewers Association Brewing Style Guidelines, with an entirely unique recipe and flavor profile compared to an American-style Pilsner or a contemporary American-style lager, which is what Budweiser would be designated as. So technically, if you guessed Budweiser at the earlier in the video, you weren't even in the ballpark. But who could blame you? There's nobody out here dumbing down all of the nuances and niche terminology of the beer world, but it's okay. I'm here now, and I'm going to condense all of these concepts through a medium all of us can understand. Video games. A German-style Pilsner has a dry, crispy, hop-dominant flavor profile compared to its Czech and American counterparts, which tend to be more balanced with the sweetness provided by the malt flavor. Think like caramel, honey, light toastiness. German Pilsners don't have any of that. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. The absence of these notes allow these beers to put the hops front and center, featuring the famous German noble hop. A noble hop is a strain of hop that has been preserved as closely as possible to how the plant was cultivated naturally in the region that it originated from. See, a lot of hop growers nowadays selectively breed certain hops to amplify certain aromatic or bittering qualities. Experimentation has become so expansive that a lot of modern hops nowadays have names like YCR14CV or HBC 1019, or some other combination of acronyms that Elon Musk would name a child after. Noble hops haven't been bred to optimize these qualities and would be closest in flavor to what beer drinkers would have been drinking hundreds of years ago. They're generally considered to be mild in flavor and ideal for dry hopping. There are noble hop strains from Germany, the Czech Republic, and arguably England. The German noble hop features a spicy floral quality. Think like ginger, mace, or even slightly minty. So that's what I would expect flavor-wise from a bottle of Pisswasser. And although harder to detect, dryness also allows a product to highlight their water profile. which is why a lot of German breweries are bragging about the quality of their water and how they've been brewing from the same river for generations, yada, 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 Reinheitsgebot, Holy Roman Empire, you get the picture. Now, there's a bit of a dispute on whether or not the original Pilsner is actually of German creation. After all, Pilsner Urquell, the Pilsner that started it all, was created in the town of Pilsen in the Czech Republic in 1842. Pretty open and shut, right? I mean, the beer is named after the town. But here's where it gets tricky. The head brewer and creator of Pilsner Urquell, Josef Groll, a big boy, love that, was born and trained in the art of brewing in Bavaria. Not to mention that Pilsen had a significant German-speaking minority population, which could have helped steer the beer-drinking culture in the direction of crispier, lighter-colored beers, a new phenomenon for the Czech Republic at the time. And 30 years later, German breweries were brewing their own Pilsners that by all accounts were nearly identical to Josef Groll's original creation. What do I think? Big whoop. Who gives a doodle? There are plenty of Pilsners out there that I'm happy to be drinking, and I don't need to get bogged down by which country brewed what beer first. But how do we get from there to the German-style Pilsner, a unique style separate from the origin of its namesake? Well, long story short, it begins with this guy named Ludwig Narziss. In 1964, he was appointed the head of the Department of Brewing Technology in Weihenstephan, and began teaching brewmasters how to achieve lighter colored beers with fewer off flavors using modern brewing techniques. Things like minimizing the amount of oxygen during the brewing process, or more detailed instructions on the functions of yeast and how it should be treated. This, in conjunction with the widespread use of Weihenstephaner's house yeast strain, popularized a new type of Pilsner, a pale golden beer with a light, clean flavor profile that was quite different from what people had come to expect from the Pilsner style. And thus, the German-style Pilsner was born. So Pisswasser is a German Pilsner. We can expect a dry, hop-centric flavor profile that should not be confused with a contemporary American-style lager like Budweiser or Miller High Life. Great. Now what beers can I buy at the store to pretend like I'm drinking Pisswasser? Well, you can't really go wrong with anything with pills on the label, like Weihenstephaner or Paulaner, or Bitburger is nice. But my favorite is the Aeginger Bavarian Pilsner. Alrighty, it's time for the tasting part of the show, or video. So here we have the Aeginger Bavarian Pilsner. Look at that. That's what the label looks like. If you want to find it in the store, look for that one. I'm going to be working on this bottle cap for a minute, so I'm going to take a few seconds to talk to you about the word crispy. All right, so I was thinking that some of you might be asking yourselves, this guy's using the word crispy a lot. What does he mean by that? And good question. To me, crispy is referring to a flavor that is more focused and neutral. A lot of ale yeasts and roasted specialty malts impart very strong flavors that can distract from the more subtle elements of a beer, such as hop aroma or light malt character. A crispy beer is generally more sessionable or drinkable and allows the more delicate flavors of a beer to shine through that might otherwise get drowned out in a less crispy style like a stout or a Belgian strong ale. And of course, all of these concepts exist on a spectrum. There are many exceptions. The best beer for any given situation is the one you feel like drinking, and rules are meant to be broken. So, cheers. Wow, look at that. Now, it's pretty hazy for a Pilsner, but don't let that fool you. It doesn't taste like a hazy IPA. No, you get a little bit of cracker on the nose, a little slight bit of honey, but not on the palate. And then the flavor profile, all hops. You get like a cedar, mint, herbal flavor profile, and a slight whisper of clove, which I think is coming from the yeast. You can drink one with me if you want, or alternatively, if you don't want to, then don't do that. But that was good. All right, let's get back to the end of the video. But really, any German-style Pilsner will give you an idea. If you can't find any imported German beers in your area, then check your local craft brewery. I mean, they're making tons of German-style beers nowadays. They're actually becoming pretty popular. And if things are really bad in your area, you could try a Yingling or Samuel Adams Golden Pilsner, I guess. That's really the best I could do for you. Anything short of that ain't Pisswasser, baby. So whether you're going back to an old favorite or trying something new, I hope this video helps you find the Pisswasser that's right for you. Thanks for watching. This is a new style of video for me, so if you enjoyed it and want to see more like this, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe and ring-a-ding that thing to stay up to date whenever I drop a new video. You can find me on Blue Sky and check out my Bandcamp in the description below. And don't forget to tell me about your favorite video game beer in the comments. Everybody stay safe, drink responsibly. I'm Mr. Sun, and I'll see you all in the next one.